What's up, y'all?
How's it going?
Do you believe in God, first principle?
Yeah, I believe in God.
Do you have a do you have a deductive, like, sound argument for God's existence?
Yeah, you want me to just kind of lay it out simple and flat, or you want me to kind of go in
Well,
depth with that?
you know what sound means, right? Like the premises are true.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, sure.
So, an actual concrete infinity cannot exist in reality. Premise one. Premise two: if an actual infinity can't exist in reality, then time had to have a beginning because otherwise the past would require infinite amount of actualized events. Premise three: if the universe came into being and time had a beginning, you require an eternal cause. Premise four: a mechanistic impersonal cause is insufficient to produce a finite effect. And we can unpack
So,
whatever.
so premise one, an actual concrete infinity cannot exist.
Yeah.
Okay, premise two.
If a actual concrete infinity cannot exist, then time had a beginning because there cannot be an infinite amount of actualized events in the past.
Okay, an actual concrete infinity cannot exist. There cannot be an infinite past.
Something that has that written down by chance first.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because it's
Yeah,
it's
first
cool
of
that
all,
you can
do you have
spitfire an
your
argument like that,
premises?
but I really need to
Yeah,
understand
I'm
the whole
interested in hearing
argument.
those. Do you have those like written down first, principal?
I mean, I'm sure I have them written down somewhere. That's just off.
I'm sure those premises are contested.
But we can talk about it. That's what I'm saying. We can
Yeah,
unpack
yeah,
it, and I can demonstrate why they are
Yeah.
true, right?
Okay.
The,
Yeah, because
the first
I'm just gonna
one.
like analyze the structure and soundness of the argument.
I mean, I can if you want me, I can tell you it, and you can write it down if you want,
Yeah,
or we
I
can
got
just
the
go.
first premise. If an actual concrete infinity cannot exist, or there cannot be an infinite past
Yeah,
of like infinite events or something.
the infinite time and infinite amount of physical events, actualized events in the past.
Okay.
And so here, normally the confusion gets into the distinguish between, or the distinction between potential infinity, actual infinities within the mathematical framework, and then in reality, right? Like in reality, an actual infinity, that's what's debated, cannot exist in reality, and it's incoherent. And I think that's why people have so many problems with an actual infinity in reality.
I guess what do you mean by an actual? Because there's tons and tons of quote unquote actual infinities. What do you mean
Not
by that?
not in reality. There's not a you can't demonstrate a infinite set of a actualized events or physical objects anywhere, right? Like they say space, but normally it's actually conceptualized as a potential infinity. It's not an actual infinity. So potential infinity
Yeah, I've never demonstrated.
a potential infinity would be like the future, right? Like we're progressing into the future, but to say an actual concrete infinity exists in reality is to say a good analogy would be if even if you lived forever and you never died, could you read a book with an infinite amount of pages and say, okay, that was a fun book, I'm done? Like no, you wouldn't be able to, right?
Well, no,
Because
yeah.
that would imply an actual
You
infinity.
excluded that possibility in defining it as an infinite book.
Do
But by
I?
definition, you cannot finish an infinite book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But whenever you imply that the present rests on the past and that the past is completed, it's the same concept. So you have to literally, if you want to disregard causation, the same mechanism and like evolution, and just provide the most coldest case for creationism, you can go that route. But I think there's a clear progression of time, right? I mean, if literally the only route is to deny the progression of time and say that the past is still active and was not actually actualized, but I can't change what I did yesterday, and I believe that there's actual cause and effects in the world. So,
I mean, I would agree with you that cause and effect exists, yeah, and it happens.
yeah, so that's
But
why,
I think the assumption that an infinite past is incoherent is what we're debating here.
no, yeah, for sure. But do you understand why the analogy is proper with the book?
Uh, yeah, but I don't like for that being a reason why concrete infinities cannot exist.
I mean, it's
Like you cannot have an infinite book because it would just be like literally never ending, like it would never beginning and never ending.
yeah, so it's incoherent. But we can use another example. Even if you lived forever, could you jump rope an infinite amount of times? That might be simpler
What
because
what do you mean by forever? Do you mean like for
infinite.
all of time?
Yeah, infinite. You would never be able to complete
like,
it, right?
This is going under the guise that like time is a thing that exists and not like technically a quality or like a result of
Like a measure of change, yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't want to get like super schizo and weird with you guys, but I kind of like stumbled on something the other night and threw something together that works with a lot of different things that have already existed. It's not like something I discovered. It's not novel, but it's like a patchwork of patterns of things that exist, and it kind of denotes time in a way that I've never ever thought about before. And again, I don't want to. I don't think it's schizo. I was talking about Riki, and it's brand new. I still don't even fully understand it. But if you guys want, I can position that you guys and see what you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can graze over it. I don't want to get too off of what we're talking about. If y'all want to hear my argument for why I believe God exists, if y'all don't care, then sure. But
no, I do care. That's why
I do care too.
Room.
But
so I'm curious. Like the argument from the incoherence of an infinite past.
Well,
something like that.
What I was getting at is the only way to deny that is to say that the past does not consist of actualized events. So, like what I did 30 seconds ago, it wasn't an actualized event that actually took place, right? Or to say that there's no actual progression of time, and all these things, I'll just bring up absurdities in reality, such as like the causation would completely be descriptive, not prescriptive. So that brings up issues when it comes to like evolution, right? Because that would mean the most complex organism, it didn't actually get there by adaptation and cause and effect. It got there just by descriptive, which would be like a cold case for creationism. But that's just the other route. That's the only way you can really escape this, right?
So you're saying that like if you just say that causation is descriptive, then that means that creatures can't evolve. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying only way to argue that the past could be infinite is to say that the progression of time is some sort of illusion, and that say like it's a B theory of time. But I would argue that undermines causation, because there is no temporal becoming, right? And so if there's no temporal becoming, then the most complex organisms, they always existed, and so causation becomes descriptive. And if it's descriptive, there's no actual causing. So it's just a cold case.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What's the problem with him always existing in B theory?
I mean, you can take that route, but I mean, many philosophers reject the B theory of time as true. Like metaphysically, they think of it more as like a concept in physics. But the problem would be that it would be a cold case for creationism. But if you accept that there's actual time and there's an actual progression of time, there's you have to literally reject the idea that the present rests on the past, right? And I think that's. I mean, you can take that.
Like if you hold to B theory that all of time has existed eternally, then there's no actual causation.
Yeah.
Okay. Like causation is just like an illusion of being in the present and witnessing events happen after each other.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is impossible, but what I'm saying is, under that framework, then can you understand why causation would be weird and not how we conceptualize it right now?
Yeah, like the idea that with causation being the idea that present events bring about future events.
Yeah, that's how we view causation now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that is an illusion. I mean, it's a very useful illusion.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, even like laws of identity and stuff like that break down at the quantum level, because there's something called superposition, where something is literally itself and not itself at the same time, or something is true and false at the same time.
Chill, add me as a friend. I sent you a message. Read that and tell me what you think about it for an explanation of time.
Time is not a
This
substance.
is from the lens of that thing I've been working with.
The dimension you travel through is a measurement of motion within a structure that itself contains no time.
And I think we would need to also focus on, it's not just time itself, because time, I would agree, doesn't have an actual substance to it, but it's the physical events within time, right? So if the past is infinite, you have to deny that there was actual physical events that were actualized and took place. And that's why something like the jumping rope analogy of even if you lived forever, you wouldn't be able to jump rope for an infinite amount of times, right? And say, I'm done. So that's more of what
that's just true by definition, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's literally, I don't even understand why it's debated whenever you actually conceptualize the difference between a potential infinity and actual infinity. And anytime I've ever talked to, like, all the pushback, it's always been them appealing to, like, mathematical concepts that I'm like, okay, that's great. I could draw an infinity sign right now. That doesn't mean it is can be actually.
No, I know, but you're making an actual hypothetical in reality. You're saying if you live forever, like if you have no beginning and no end, how could you jump rope forever? And it's like, why couldn't you?
Well, you could jump rope. You could jump rope forever, right?
You couldn't say you were done ever, because that's true. That contradicts the first thing you just said.
Yeah, but you can jump rope forever as a potential infinity, just like we can progress into the future, and the future could be infinite. But the problem arises is whenever you say, okay, I'm done jump roping, and I jumped the rope an infinite amount of times. But that's what we do whenever someone says that the past is infinite, because if we accept that the present rests on the past, then it's just like the last jump of the jump rope or the last page of the book, right? So you have to literally deny causation and the actual becoming and progression of time.
Here's an idea, though. This infinite past thing seems to sidestep the Big Bang, which I don't think is an ultimate beginning of the universe. It's not even what the data suggest. But we don't even know how time functions at that point. So time could have I know this is like a whataboutism or whatever, but it could have restarted or something, and there doesn't have to be an infinite past for there to be no ultimate metaphysical beginning. It could be Big Bang, Big Crunch kind of thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So you're doing the same thing. All you're doing is implying past universes, but the logic should still hold. Of course, we could appeal to ignorance and say, oh, well, maybe time doesn't really work how we think it does, but we're just doing the best we can, right? And so if you're saying that there was a previous universe before this, I mean, what you're doing is just implying another universe before this. And unless you have some sort of completely new framework of time where this doesn't apply, this logic doesn't apply, then it doesn't really matter. You would still run into the problem of requiring a first universe with a first cause, right?
Yeah, but so now it breaks down from a deductive argument to an abductive argument based on a best explanation, which is not what I asked for.
How so?
Well, a deductive argument is one whose premises are known to be true.
Well, I just demonstrated why they're true, right?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. What's wrong with my analogy? How's my analogy?
But I don't think we understand how. I don't know if the cosmological route's the one you want to go to, because we don't know. There's so much unknown about that itself that we can't even make a deductive argument for anything around that time period.
We're just talking philosophical here with causation and time, right? And so
that's my point. Okay, well,
I'm giving you I'm giving you a dichotomy, right? Either there's an actual sense of becoming, there's an actual flow and progression in time, or that there's no real causation and all of time exists equally. Which route are you taking? Because you can't have it both.
I know, but the problem is I don't know what the answer is. It's
still a deductive argument. It's still a deductive argument. You're just appealing to ignorance because you don't want to engage.
Well, no, he's not trying to not engage. He's seeking the truth and telling you that he is the small thing that is unaware. And honestly, first, I'm really interested in what you're saying. You're hitting on a lot of things that are kind of ringing true for me, man. And I'm deeply impressed, actually, by how easily you laid out your 5 premises. I must actually commend you, not to dick suck you too hard, but I was actually very intrigued by what you laid out there, and I kind of want to toy with that for a while.
We can toy with it, but if we're going to engage, we can't just say, "Well, that's not true," but I don't know what else it could be.
Right.
I didn't
I
hear
get where
that
you're coming
though.
from. First, do you have a way to and I know I'm asking a lot of you here to lay out those 5 premises that you went on. It sounds like you've thought about those long enough to be able to pull them up and verbalize them.
Can
But
you actually
for
write
me
them
to
down?
digest that, yeah, for
Yeah.
me to digest that, I'd have to actually
Say put it in
word
the
for word.
side chat or something so I can
Is
look at
that?
it.
Can we ask that of you?
Yeah. I mean, y'all want to? Okay, I can put it. I can put it.
I really appreciate that, dude. Yeah, because that
This
sounded like
is
a good nugget. I was really interested in that.
And I want to address your accusation of an appeal to ignorance. So I don't think that's what I did.
no. You're
Yeah, I
good.
think we're
I
all
just
coming at this from a lens of we want to know what's going on.
You know as much as I do. Well,
Yeah, we don't know
mean,
what's going on,
like,
and
I'm not
I think
saying
the second you
I
start
don't know
crafting a
therefore
narrative,
this.
you're going down the wrong path.
oh, I'm trying to think so I can make this out properly.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
take your time,
saying
take your
God
time.
doesn't exist because this argument is inclusive. I'm just saying
My
I don't know the
my
nature of time.
concept of God existing in time is it's a little out there, and it touches on. Have you guys ever heard of the Project Gateway, the CIA Navy document?
What?
Project
I think I
Gateway.
actually heard of that today or the other day or something.
So it talks about a toroidal universe and
You said toro. You said toroidal.
like a torus, like a donut.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and it talks about the absolute being like the God, right? And it follows the framework of the Trinity. It actually follows the pattern of a lot of religions. They all kind of hint at it, and the thing that you get at is the absolute. If an infinity exists, it has no separation of here from there. It has no understanding of self from everything else. So to define that, it projects itself in front of itself like a mirror. It creates itself in front of itself to look at. And in doing so, it actually is able to define self. It becomes self conscious. And inside of that projection, and that projection would be the sun, quote unquote, right? Like the source creates the image. And the observation of it looking at itself would be the consciousness, would be us peering through it. Every point of consciousness of being aware of itself inside of itself is the Godhead, I guess, the source viewing itself through the hologram.
Mm.
And it gets really deep. I have a lot of this bundled up into like a click through that I've worked with AI. It's kind of I'm really pushing back because I don't want it to come off as schizo, but it 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 kind of is clicking into place, and it feels weird.
Well,
And
what you're talking about kind of sounds like the eternal generation of the Son.
what do you mean?
Well, in Christian theology, the Son is the eternal generation of the Father, and the Holy Spirit eternally proceeds from the Father.
Yeah, and we it's kind of what it happens. And in the Project Gateway document that was the military had, where they were talking about hemi syncing and your activation of the brain, um it is a Trinitarian point of view, right? It is
Yeah,
a source, a image that is projected from the source, like the hologram, and then the perception of that source is us. So those three things, one, two, three. Thing looking at itself, and then the act of looking at itself being the third.
the act of looking at itself.
Yeah.
It wasn't actively looking at itself before.
Well, but because you can't see your own eyeball, right? You need a mirror.
Okay.
And again, I'm not.
Oh, I see what you
saying this
mean.
is-
Okay.
this
Like
is bad.
the source needs the Holy Spirit to look at the sun. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. It's and again, dude, I know this sounds kind of wild, but I'm kind of parsing through it also.
Let me look at
It's
this.
kind of deep.
I sent it in the chat. That's just off the noggin, guys. But it's kind of sloppy. But as far as the logic goes, it's sound for me. Like I like it, you know.
That's good. Okay, I appreciate you typing that up for us.
Yeah.
It's sound. I like it.
I'm saying the wording could have been a little bit better, but I'm just, you know.
Yeah, I'm like separating it into like neat bullet points.
Yeah.
Chill. If you
Well, there's a last premise in there that I didn't even really get to.
I see.
Because one could say, you know, why does that require a mind? You know, even though if time had a beginning, right?
Yeah.
And so from there, you would just go, you know, even if you were to presuppose, you know, laws of the universe, etc., a timeless cause that is bound by mechanistic principles, you know, laws produce their, you know, a mechanistic cause produces effect as soon as the conditions are met, you know, because they're law bound, right? So if it's outside of time, there's no time for it to wait for the conditions to be met. Therefore, it would produce its effect infinite time ago, and then you just run into the universe being created infinite time ago. And then, so if you don't believe an actual infinity can exist in reality, then you run into that problem again, right? And so you required a personal cause for there to be any sort of causation that's not bound by any laws, but has a sense of agency.
Mm.
I'll be honest. The only real pushback you ever really get, like that the last premise, I don't even see how one could even argue with that unless they just give you some jargon. I don't know, but no, the main thing is just the whole concept of an actual infinity. But a lot of people just intuitively agree that, like, without even looking into it, like, yeah, the past can't be infinite.
I would just contest that maybe you're not equivocating. What's the word? Like you're using two different using causation in two different senses. I think like temporal causation versus atemporal causation. Like first you talk about causation in time, and you say for causation to be possible in time, it has to be caused by causation outside of time. So
Yeah.
I guess, what is causation without time?
Yeah, I think at that point if it's not bound by any quantum laws or anything like that, then you are stuck with some sort of like timeless will, you know. And I mean, this gets a little bit into just like really philosophical here, but I conceptualize I conceptualize it like, would you say that you have a nature and that you have a will about you? Even like, do you want to have kids one day?
I don't know that. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I do.
Okay, so he wants to have kids one day, and so 30
I
seconds.
wanna create a son.
So like 30 seconds ago, he probably wasn't thinking about that, but that was still his will. Like it's still part of his nature that he wanted to have kids one day, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, sure.
to me,
you invoked him to reveal his will when you asked him that question. Sure.
yeah. So to me, that is your timeless will, you know. But
I like that.
I don't know if it's timeless. Like the desire for him to have a kid one day, probably one day too.
It's just part of his nature. Like it does have some sort of.
But it's of the nature, right? Like if it kind
really.
of would circle back to.
Did you ever not want to have kids?
No.
I mean, my opinion on that changes all the time.
Yeah, but you're also an imperfect being. So if we're like talking about the classical,
I've always wanted to have kids. To be honest.
Well, apparently I don't have an eternal will then, but he does. I don't know.
well, there's
Your
something.
perception of it isn't grounded.
Yeah, there's something that you've always wanted, though. I'm sure.
I don't know.
You've always wanted $1 billion. You've always wanted $1 billion.
Like from birth, probably not. No.
Well, the problem with this obviously would be that, if God is complete within himself, then he doesn't lack anything. So it would just be the expression of his will. But I do think that there's something, like you've always wanted to drink milk or water or something, right?
Maybe. Yeah, like biological instincts, like necessities. Sure.
Yeah. But I don't know, guys. What do you think?
I think my threshold of evidence was not met.
So does that mean you can refute any of this or no?
Well, I'm not appealing to ignorance, saying that something is false because I don't know. I'm just saying, like, these premises are not conclusive. Like, they're still debated. They're not known to be true. So yeah, I didn't meet my threshold.
This is funny. So I'm looking at your premises there, right? Your 5 points. And it says it's Kalam's cosmological argument.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's like a contingency argument too.
Yeah, but it goes in a little bit in more depth.
It says that yours is more than it. I'm parsing this with AI right now.
Okay, you cleaned it up. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll clean it even more. I have like shortcuts of logical like symbols.
It actually told me to give you credit, first principle.
Hey, I'll take it. I think it's
It
much
said,
stronger.
honestly, I kind of want to give you this. Like, it's weird that it's spitting this out. It says, before we engage with it, give your friend credit. This is one of the more rigorous arguments in philosophy of religion.
Yeah, I'll take it. I didn't.
Do you want to screen share?
I mean, you're good. I believe you. But what I did was I simplified this from a book that I can reveal to you later. But at first I want to, because where I got it from, the guy made it like super complicated. I kind of made it like way more simple and kind of extracted from this book. But
this is so funny. It says, before we engage with it, give your friend credit. This is one of the more rigorous arguments in classical philosophy of religion. It's not, look how complex the I is, therefore God. It's a thought modal logical chain that tries to derive necessity of a timeless, non-mechanistic ground of being from first principles. Most arguments for God's existence have known weakness. Our framework. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's Dan. What book did you get that from?
I can't tell you. I'll tell you whenever we're done.
Okay. So to boil down this conversation, first principle denies the second premise that there are no known sound deductive arguments for or against God's existence, which he's arguing for. But I still think I'm not convinced that this is a sound argument.
No, that's fine. I mean, I can push you on that if you want. Because my whole contention would be the dichotomy. Like, are you willing to deny causation?
It sounds high stakes, but I don't know.
It's kind of a catch-22.
I think causation is like something that maybe we think we observe. It's like some kind of like a principle, you know what I mean? Like a law of logic kind of, where it's like it seems to be the case. Yeah. So we'll just go off of that.
So
like causation may or may not be like it might be an illusion is what I'm saying.
No, that's fine. I mean, if you have to deny the progression of time to refute this argument, I'm pretty happy with that. You know what I mean? But I would say that. Are you implying that the most complex organism always had some sort of ontology, and so there was no actual becoming, and then no real adaptation cause and effect?
If theory is true, then then this moment right here always existed. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does your intuition tell you about if the most complex, beautiful animal always existed and had some sort of ontology?
Ask it again?
Yeah, what is your intuition? Like, what do you think I'm going to say to that if you said the most complex, beautiful animal had some sort of ontology always? If it always existed, not, in this framework or this slice of time.
Conversation, you're going to say that it's a cold case for creationism or something?
Yeah, do you think I'm justified for saying that?
I don't know. No. What do you even mean by that?
Well, I mean, because whenever we talk about the complexity of humans or whatever, what is normally the rebuttal? It's that we slowly got here. We slowly, it was cause and effect, right? Adaptation, chance, and we slowly got a complex I. But if there's no actual becoming, then under B theory of time, then even though the slice that we're in, might not have whatever, but it has an ontology. Like the most complex organism has an ontology, just metaphysically on this block, right? There was no actual becoming, so causation just becomes descriptive. So it's literally just a map. It's not necessarily this happened and created this. It's just this big flat map, and we're experiencing different points on this map.
Well, even in creationism, the quote most complex and beautiful animal to ever exist, i.e. us, didn't always exist.
Well, it did, just not at every single slice on this block, right? But under B theory, we always had some sort of ontology. Like,
even in theism, it says that God created mankind from dust.
Wait, hold on. When you say slice, what do you mean by slice?
Well, you can say slice map. What I'm saying
is he means like the present slice of B theory.
Okay,
yeah.
So dude, that maps onto what I've been digging at here too with the toroidal universe, like the hologram universe. If you cut it, you don't. Here, hold on, pull it up. Actually, I want to be able to phrase it properly. Basically, if you cut it, you don't get half of it. You get a lower resolution of it. Hold on. Give me just a second.
This is tied to a rage pit.
Yeah,
no.
First principle, I recommend looking into that Project Gateway thing because it kind of touches on this. The holographic universe, cutting a plate into a hole, everything mimics the thing above it. It's kind of like as above, so below, turtles all the way down.
That does sound schizo, dude.
It does.
Yeah, no, I've heard of that a lot. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, I've heard people talk about
that. Sounds like Selima or something. Or Hermeticism. Are you aware of the what's it called? The Kabbalion?
Aware of what?
I've heard.
It's a book called the Kabbalion.
No.
It's KYBALION.
I've heard of it before.
There's something called it's by the 7 Initiates. The authors are kind of mysterious, but one of the principles is as above, so below. That's what it reminded me of.